What's up? What's up? This is What's Up to the Hobby, and I'm going to start a video series talking about different things going on in the hobby and just like the status quo, where we're at, state of the union. It's just my personal views and opinions on what's taking place currently, my predictions on what's going to happen in the future, and where I see the hobby evolving to over the next 6 months and then potentially over the next 2 to 3 years. And I think a lot of the great things about the hobby, giving people an outlet in their lives to collect, to root for things. I think like with the introduction of gambling, sports betting, like legalizing in all states and in most countries in the world, puts a lot of action on live sports, and the same goes with the hobby. The hobby has been giving people the same outlet for longer than gambling, but now with the prices of different cards and the values going up, it actually puts a lot on these athletes and on these teams to do well. And people who invest big early have a really good chance of making some money long term. And I don't think that will ever change. I think that's the best part of it. There's also communities. There's lots of great friendships and people that you meet in the hobby, other collectors, people who you do breaking with, that you strike up deals with, trading, all of the live events with everything from small shows to the national and everything in between. And those are great events for people to like put on, to showcase collections, to meet other people that are similar minded, and all that kind of stuff. But those are all the positives, and I think the negatives right now are truly more so around the breaking community and the whole process of the introduction of new cards to the circulation. And the only way that these new cards are getting into circulation is by ripping new product. And I feel like as a society, we always take a great idea and something that's really cool and fun, and then we ruin it. And we just take it beyond control. And when there's enough money involved, it always ruins it. It ruins it for everyone. It ruins it for the hobby. It ruins it for true collectors, for people trying to do good in the world. And you get in a lot of money hungry people who don't give a fuck about the hobby. They don't give a fuck about cards. They don't give a fuck about anyone. They're in it for themselves. They're in it to make money, and that's it. And that has grown rampant. And there's too many middlemen that have taken over the industry. And there is absolutely no reason for anyone to be purchasing or paying for sealed wax at this point. There's no reason. It's absolutely ludicrous. You can look at any product line. You can look at absolutely any sport, any product line, any sequence of cards, and 99.9% of people are going to lose their money. That's the truth. It doesn't matter. It's grown out of control. There is more breakers trying to make money than there is a demand for the actual cards inside of the product. Now, the reason this works is because you have changed the perception of what we're doing here, and people are no longer rooting for cards. They're no longer rooting for collections or hobby or card people or any of that. And all you've done is created gambling. You have a bunch of insane, like, people who are blocking out logic and reason when purchasing breaks. And it is just sucking the money all the way out of the entire hobby, when that money should be filtering back into the hobby through cards, through trading, through people building their collections, purchasing each other's cards to grow the hobby and to grow the value for everyone else. But what's happening is the opposite. The money is going into breaking wax, and this fractionalization that has happened with the price of wax, where you can take a single box or a case and divide it by 30 or 32 or even more in other situations, has taken the average person to say, well, I can't afford $1,000 for a box, but I can't afford $30. So I'll purchase one team, or I'll shoot my shot and I'll spin the wheel, or I'll pick a card in a deck or whatever. But at the end of the day, when you slice up a box into $1,000 or divided by $1,000, or let's say an NT case for $12,000, and you're dividing it into $300 spots, at the end of the day, the cards inside of those boxes do not add up anywhere close to $10,000 or $12,000 in any of these situations. What you're seeing in the actual secondary market is that your main chase cards for your main chase players are selling for less than the price of one box. And there is no value distribution going back into the secondary hobby. All of the money that is being sucked out of the hobby right now is going to breakers who are being extremely greedy. The middleman in between the breakers and the end consumers, which is Whatnot and distributors, are taking an unfair, ridiculous cut of all profits. Whatnot, for example, takes 8% of every single sale ever done on the app, plus they have 3% transaction fees, plus a per transaction fee. And that's if you're approved. Some people have to pay more than that, depending on what processor they have. On top of that, you have distributors who are purchasing all products directly from Panini that get distribution and are marking their products up at whatever market value is. It could be 10%, it could be 500%. It really is up to them and what their distribution looks like. But at the end of the day, the prices of the cards do not represent what the cost of these sealed product cases, boxes are. And the only way that this is possible is that you have a huge community of gamblers who are not thinking logically or rationally about where their money is going. And they will spend their paychecks over and over again for chances. You have tranches of risk going on. You're taking a risk opening any box as it is. And most of the time, 9 out of 10 boxes you open, you're not going to see even a quarter of what you spent back. You could buy $1,000 box, and if you got $250 back, that would be considered a win in the hobby. But like when you divide that $1,000 box by 30 teams and each person only put in $30, then that one person who hit the 250, that's like a 10x. It's an 8 to 10x that they came up on. But it will happen only every so often. So people who are taking the risk on getting a team, which is then randomized, or it's a random card in a deck, or whatever the case, you're gambling on just getting a good team or the chance of getting a good card of the team that you get. But at the end of the day, when you have a sealed case of anything, there's going to be one case hit, maybe two out of an entire case. Most cases are 12 boxes of Prism Select. Optic cases are 20 boxes, and there's a few other cases that are 20. But inside of those cases, there's generally only one or two big boxes. So the other 90% of the time, you're getting nothing. You're getting fuck all. And everyone loses. And there might be one person who comes up on a decent card. But at the end of the day, the money being taken out is nowhere close to what's going back in. And there needs to be a shift. And with what happened with Panini recently, where they lost their license, or the NFLPA decided they wanted to end their agreement early, and they're no longer allowing Panini to print new product for NFL players to use their name and likeness. That is going to cause a huge disruption in the breaking community. And the only thing that they know how to do right now is buy more wax. It's a cyclical problem, because the more that they break, the more that they buy. It's the only way they can continue to make money. And when there becomes a serious shortage of product, and NFL is huge in the breaking community, it's probably bigger than NBA, but people will have to shift to NBA, and that's going to run out even quicker. If the same thing happens with the NBA Players Association, it will absolutely destroy breaking. So the next way for them to continue is to either go back and find product from previous years, or what the trend is right now, and what a lot of them have been doing and continue to do, and continue to pull the wool over the eyes of every single person who continues to pay them off, is mystery repacks. And for the most part, every single person, breaker, room, channel, I don't care who it is, they are absolutely cleaning up on repacks. People do not understand the stupidity that they are doing by paying off these people for repack products. Repacks is a guaranteed 50% to 100% double up for the person putting them together. They do not. They're not your friends. Nobody, no breaker and no person on whatnot is your friend. There is no value. Every time someone says something about the value, about case hits and this and that, it doesn't matter to them. They don't care about you, and they don't care about nothing but how much money they make. And mystery repack is already a problem. It's already a way for them to suck out free money and pull the wool over every single person's eyes. And all they got to do, you just have to look at what is going on. This is the biggest problem, is no one is looking. No one is using logic or reason. No one is able to look past the top, the ceiling. No one can look past the chance of hitting something. Now take your average repack product and think about it. Think about what they're doing. When they go and buy, they are going to shows. They are working deals from people who already pay for breaks from them. They are working through Instagram DMs. They're buying huge lots and getting massive savings. They are not paying comps. They are not paying over comps. They are not ripping product and then putting those cards in there. They are fucking sharks. And they're going out there and they are finding the best possible deals that they can possibly find and buying in huge volume. And they are sharking as many card shops, online shops, eBays, wherever. And then in turn, After they've sharked all those deals, they're finding the highest possible comp. They're grading the cards themselves and then placing a much higher value into the boxes. So let's just say, for example, you have a $1,000 repack product and there's 20 boxes in a case of this repack product. That means the total retail value is $1,000 times 20 boxes, $20K. Now, in this scenario, the average breaker is going to put a 4x ceiling on their case, on their product, whatever it is. Some of them might be 3x, some of them might be 5x, but the average is going to be around 4x the ceiling. So that means they're going to say there's a $4,000 card, maybe a $3,000, maybe a $5,000, but somewhere in that range, right? And then they're going to say there's a floor. And so the floor is usually going to be 4x below the price. So they're going to say it's $250 floor with a $4,000 ceiling. Okay, that's all they have to say. There's no regulation. There's no one checking the boxes. There's no nothing. This is just full bullshit. You just fake it till you make it. Like, no one's checking this. There's no police. There's no regulatory board. It's just wild, wild west. Okay, so when you have a 20-box case of $1,000 mystery products, what do you think they do? You think they even it out? Do you think they make it fair for everyone? You think that they're putting $20,000 in product in there? Absolutely fucking not. All right, the most that they're putting into those boxes is going to be like $12,000, at the very most. And in very bad situations, you're going to see $5,000 to $8,000 put into those $20,000 boxes, right? And all they got to do is they got to put in one card in there that they can find a comp that they can bullshit their way and say, oh, that's worth $4,000. And in all reality, they probably paid $2,500 for the card. They got it graded. They got a 10 or they got a BGS 9.5, and then they doubled the value and said, oh, this is a $4,000 card. And then the rest of there might be one or two other cards that are close to the value. There might be a $1,000 card, one or two of them. And then 16 to 17 of the cards are all going to be at the floor. They're all going to be $250 cards or less, and they graded them and then upgraded and then upcharged on the value of them. This is exactly what happens in every single product. If anyone tells you differently, they're lying to you. They're full of shit. They do not care about you. Nobody cares about you who's selling to you. All right? They are the drug dealer of cardboard, and they do not care. They just want you to keep spending. Nobody's going to be honest with you. Do not believe anything they say. It is all bullshit. Every single person on Whatnot is shilling through their fucking face. They do not care. They do not have any ounce of integrity. They do not have any interest in the hobby. They have no fucks given about you, about your personal life, about you maxing out your credit cards, about you living on fucking loans, about anything. If you don't pay, if you have them on a line of credit and you don't pay back, they will keep your cards and they will sell them for as much as they can, and they will not apologize. That is just the way of the fucking world right now. And if you don't realize that, you need to fucking wake up to it. Okay? So repack items are already an epidemic. They're already a problem. And in the next 6 months to a year, when there's no football product, is going to become even fucking worse. It is going to be hugely problematic. And you need to stop. Everyone needs to just stop and think about what they're doing. If you want to chase a card or a player or a team, then instead of buying spots every couple days or when you get paid or whatever, save the money. Save the money. And then when you've saved up for a month, then go buy the card that you want. Go to a show. Go on eBay. Start hitting DMs. Put your offers in your stories. Tell everyone what card you're looking for and go out there and buy the card that you want. Do not pay off these people. They are just taking advantage of everyone. And it is only going to get worse. So we need to stop them. Everyone needs to stop paying off Whatnot. Everyone needs to stop paying off breakers. And everyone needs to stop paying off distributors and all of the people that have their hand in the middle of this. Breaking will always be fun, but the prices need to get in line with where the market value of these cards are. People need to be able to have a real chance to get their money back or make some money from ripping. And it just isn't the case right now. You cannot rip a box with any sort of odds and make your money back. There is 1% of people that are able to hit a monster card and really make away. But 99% of people are losing right now, and that does not end well for the hobby. When all the money is getting sucked dry out and the only thing that where the money is going is buying more wax, that is a fucking problem. That is a huge disparity in the supply and demand chain. And the demand for the cards is people trying to pay off their credit cards. People are selling these cards for way below the wax prices, way fucking below. And here is a prime example from this year. All right, you have National Treasures that just came out 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. All right, everybody knows in football that quarterbacks are the only valuable cards. It's very rare that you will ever find anything outside of a quarterback that sells for the biggest numbers. All right. So the top chasers this year is Kenny Pickett, Brock Purdy. Next to them, you have Desmond Ridder, and then you have you have Sam Howell. It has got some decent market. And then you have some very shitty underlying QBs like Malik Willis and Matt Corral. But they're junk. Nobody cares about collecting them, and nobody's paying any decent money. So you really have 4 chances of hitting these cards. And your main chasers are going to be Pickett and Purdy, which sell for the most. Okay? One case of NT, starting retail for any breaker out there was $12,000. That's the retail cost. And that's what people are paying on breaking channels all across the internet. If you want to rip a case to the dome, it's $12K. So unless you're buying from a distributor, unless you're buying from Panini Direct, you can get cheaper. But for the most part, if you're ripping retail, if you're ripping online, on Whatnot or on Instagram or YouTube or wherever your choice is, you're going to be paying $12K minimum, because it only goes up from there. And all of the gambling, the gimmicks, and the schemes that they got going on Whatnot, they drive that price up 20, 30, 40, 50%. All strictly just based on people gambling on teams. So instead of a case selling for $12K, it's now selling for $16K because people are chasing the top teams. They're missing and then overpaying. And it's all randomized. So if the top teams don't get hit and people are bidding $300, $400, $500, $600 a case, and they have all these other schemes about pick this many, get this many, pick 3, get 2, pay $1,500, and you get 2 ducks. And then there's a lotto team. It's all just a fucking scam. It's all a scam. They're taking a $12,000 case and getting $16,000 for it and saying, what value? What fucking value? And they sit there and they scream about the value if you don't get the ducks and this and that. And then people just stupidly fall for it. Just never-endingly fall for it. And they have no idea that they're getting just taken to the cleaners. They just keep fucking swiping right and bidding, and they lose their fucking minds. And this is happening over and over again. All right? Anyways, back to the example of National Treasures. You run anyone can do this, all right? I'll give you the numbers, and you can fact check me all you want because I already ran the numbers, and I already know the fucking math on it. All right? Calculate how many cases there are in distribution. The easiest way to do that is look at the checklist, all right? In every single box, there's 2 base cards. There's a checklist of the base cards, and there's a check on the checklist. It'll show you how many there is of each. So that means that there's a 1099, there's a 49, there's 25, there's a 10, there's 101s. You calculate all of the cards in the checklist, which is 100, and then multiply that by all of the different numbered cards. Add them all up, right? And you get a total. Then divide that by 8, all right? Because there's 8 base cards in a case. 4 boxes in each case, 2 base cards in each box. So that means there's 8 base cards per case. All right? When you do that, you're going to figure out that there was 4,000 cases produced of National Treasures. All right? 4,000 cases. All right? Now, of your top chasers, the top cards that you can get that sell for the most are going to obviously be the one of ones, but there's only one of them. All right? Those will be your moonshots. Those will be the best cards you could possibly hit. The Shield NTs of Pickett, Purdy, Ritter, and Howell. Those will be the most valuable cards, and those could possibly get you 50 to 100K right now. That would be the top. There's been no sales of that yet, but if you had pulled the Pickett or the Purdy Shield one of one, it would be somewhere up there in 50 to 100. You'd have to find a buyer, but that would be your moonshot. So other than the one of ones, you have your true RPAs to 99. Those are the most valuable cards in all of National Treasures. Even better than the 49s and the 25s. People get confused, and breakers will tell you differently, and they'll say, what a fucking monster, blah, 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 and scream and yell. It's all bullshit. The 99 is the one that sells for the most, and only the cards with the best patches. You're looking for 2, 3, 4 color patches. Those are the true RPAs that sell for the most amount of money. Unfortunately, this year with Pittsburgh's jersey, it doesn't have good colors. So you're looking at a lot of one color peekaboo patches, like barely 2 colors, a lot of napkins, and it's fucking brutal. But it is what it is. That's Pittsburgh. Not much you can do about it. Some of the 49ers patches are a little better, but they're still not the greatest. So back to why I'm running through the numbers here. 4,000 cases, and you have two top chaser players. All right? You have Pickett and you have Purdy. All right? And the 299 RPAs, there's obviously 99 for Pickett and 99 for Purdy. All right? So that's 99 out of 4,000 cases. So that means 99 cases out of 4,000, or 1 in 41 cases will have your true RPA. 1 in 41 cases. Consider that. Really honestly consider that. What that means. All right? What does that mean? 1 in 41 cases. That means 1 in every 168 boxes will contain a top chaser. 1 in 161 boxes. Okay? The odds of 1 in 161 boxes is 0.6%. You have a 0.6% chance of hitting any player's true RPA, but there's really only 2 to 4 chases that you're looking for. Pickett, Purdy, Ritter, Howell. Those are the only ones. Howells are selling for 3K. Ritters are selling for 4 to 5K. Pickett's are selling for 8 to 10K. And Purdy's are selling for 8 to 12K. All right? Plenty of the low end on the Picketts are selling for 6 to 7K with really shitty patches. The best patches are selling, and there's not many of them. You will be hard up to find a good patch of Pickett just because the jersey doesn't have it. You have to get the Steelers logo. It's the only way to get a good patch is to somehow they had to cut out the Steelers logo onto the patch, and they just didn't do it. They didn't do it on enough cards. Panini really cheaped out, and it's no good for the hobby, and it's no good for the collectors. So See you later. Okay. So think about that. Just really, truly consider you have a 0.6% chance times maybe 2 with Purdy and Pickett. So you have a 1.2% chance on opening up in a box one of the cards that you're looking for. Okay? And that will possibly get you more than your money back. We're looking at a $3,000 box with a 1.2% chance of getting an $8,000 to $12,000 card. 1%. That is insane. You can go to the casino anytime you want and you can get 48% odds on any amount of money you like. You don't need, we as a hobby are betting millions of dollars on a 1.2% chance to get maybe 3 times your money back. That is insane. That is pure insanity. And we continue to do it. And we continue to buy more. And we continue to chase and fractionalize the prices. And next thing you know, we'll be dividing it by 60. And we have fillers. And then we have this and micro fillers. And it's the only way to keep the cycle going until there's fucking nothing left. These cards are not worth the price of the wax. And that's what needs to change. Is that either the value of the cards on the secondary market have to come up, or the price of the wax has to come down. That's the only way. Or else this is going to continue to get completely out of control. It already is out of control, but it will become beyond out of control. All right? This money where is the money coming from? Who is constantly influxing into the money? It has to stop at some point. And the people who are spending the most amount of money, the super elite, the ultra rich people that get hooked on the high of just breaking and hitting cards, all right, eventually they are going to wake up. Eventually. They have their fun, they do their thing, they spend a fuck ton of money, and then they finally either run out of money or they wake up to the fact that they're just unlimited blowing their money. And they wake up to the fact of what the cards are actually worth, and they realize that they're totally fucked. And they just spent millions of dollars, and they have $200K to show for it. All right? This happens all the time. Seen it over and over again. The big guys only are there for a little bit of time until they realize. But it's become out of control because of all of this breaking, and people need to wake up to the fact of what happens with repacks. Because repacks is going to be the nemesis of the hobby. It's going to be the nemesis of breaking. It is going to ruin people. It's going to absolutely ruin people's budgets, their bankrolls, everything. And breakers are going to do nothing but push them down your fucking throat after the next 3 to 6 months from now when there's no more football product. When it runs out and Panini's got nothing more to offer, you watch the fucking repacks go fucking wild. They will be rampant all over the place, and people will be on your ass trying to buy your cards for dirt cheap because they want to put them into repacks and then sell them back to you. All right? And the time to stop is now. The time to stop was 2 years ago, to be quite honest. But the time to stop and realize that giving your money to these breakers and giving your money to these repacks and giving your money to these prices of wax is insane. It's insane. You must fucking use your head and look. Just go and look. Just do the math like I did. Go and look at the odds of what you're putting your money into. Go and look at the prices of the market of the cards that you're trying to hit. Okay? You can go in and you can buy your favorite team, your favorite player, and you can get all of the cards that you want for a fraction of the price of the wax. All of like those Kenny Pickett cards you can buy that are not the top cards, that they go bang, fucking go mental and screaming and yelling, what a hit. You can get all those for less than the price of a box. All right? I gave the example of National Treasures. Every single product is the same story. Every single one. I don't care if it's Prism, Select, Optic, Contenders, Mosaic. It doesn't matter. The list goes on. It's all complete fucking garbage, and it's 100% overpriced. It's 10,000% overpriced. And 99.9% of people are going to get completely fucked and have no cards to show for it. Because there just isn't a market for all of the players. The market is very fucking small. And they only want certain players. They only want quarterbacks. And they only want the top 10 to 12 players in NBA. They only want the super elite superstars, or they want the top chase rookies. That's it in basketball. You're looking at LeBron, Steph, Luka, and possibly a couple other ones like Zion. Zion's fucking not good right now. Trey, Giannis. But that's it. The top ones is going to be LeBron, Steph. Jason Tatum's in their mix. Then you have your top rookies. You got Paulo. You got Chet. Those two sell for the most by far. And then you have maybe 4 to 5 other secondary elite rookies. And they do sell. But that's it. Everything else in those products, in a card run of Prism, which has 300 player checklist, you're talking about 285 cards in the entire checklist that does not sell. Nobody wants them and nobody buys them. 285 out of a 300 card checklist that nobody fucking wants or pays for. So you're chasing, again, 15 out of 300 cards. And you run the math on that. You look at that. Again, it's like 1%. You're chasing a 1%. You can open up a whole case of Prism and drop yourself. You're looking at NBA Prism. You can drop a case of 12 Prism, $1,200 a box, or $800 a box. It doesn't matter. It's whatever the going rates of these fucking boxes are, and spend your 10, 12,000, and it's only going up. And you're gonna get out of that. Most of the time, you're going to get out of that like a couple $1,000s in cards. If you get super lucky and hit a 101, or you get super lucky and hit a gold vinyl or a gold, then you have a better chance of getting your money back. But that just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. There's too much product. And in every single case, there's like 1 in 5 cases get a 101. If that, it might be less. There's only 300 101s. And there's a lot more cases. So you really need to consider that these cards are not selling for what people are paying for the wax. Just go on eBay. Go to a card show. Go in your DMs. Look at people's stories. See what people are selling the cards for that you're actually looking to hit in these breaks. And realize how much they actually are. The minute that I looked at what Kenny Pickett was selling for, I never touched another break. I never bought another full box because it doesn't fucking make sense. You can buy a case hit card of the top chase player for less than the cost of one box. Just really consider that. The top chase player, Pickett or Purdy, in a really good color or auto or whatever, the top chase that you're only going to get a case in, all right? That sells for less than the price of one box right now. And you run through any product. Prism, Select, Optic, Contenders Optic, Mosaic, National Treasures. Like, you can get those players. You can get really good cards of those players for significantly less. Panini One is the worst product I've ever seen this year. They're selling those boxes for $500, $550. And you're getting Kenny Pickett RPA selling for $300 and $400. You get a case of 20 in Panini One. With a $500 retail cost, that means $10,000 a case. And you're going to get one quarterback. You're not guaranteed Kenny Pickett. You are not. I've watched many cases of Panini One. You are not guaranteed a Kenny Pickett. Brock Purdy, not even in the product. Not even in the product. You can't even chase him because he ain't in the product. So you're chasing Pickett, Ritter, Howell. All right. You can buy the top chase quarterback Panini 1 in a really good color, low numbered to 15 to 25 vertical RPAs for $300 to $400 on the secondary market. So why would anyone be trying to chase something out of that fucking product when for less than the price of one box, you can get the best player? All right. You're not going to get the 101. You're not going to get the gold, but you can buy virtually any other Kenny Pickett card for less than the price. If you want to spend a little bit more, if you want to spend the price of 2 boxes, you want to spend $1,000 on Kenny Pickett Panini 1, you are going to get a fucking dinger. You will get a sick card. You will get a nice gold, true vertical RPA on card with a sick patch of Kenny Pickett for $1,000 for the price of 2 boxes. For the price of 1 or less, you will get a vertical or a to 49 or 35 true RPA. All right, on card. Just fucking think about that. Consider that. Really fucking think about that. All right? Because what is going on right now is pure insanity. And people have the wool pulled over their eyes. They're getting sucked into this mentality of chasing cards, of believing breakers, of wanting to just hear that bang, to just get that card, to get lucky. Go to the fucking casino. Please, go to the casino because you have a 48% chance of winning if you go to the casino. When you're ripping on whatnot, you have a 1% chance or less of winning. And winning in cards is like getting your money back somehow. You don't double up. When you win at the casino, you get 2 times your money or more. You get cards, you get a card ungraded. It could be fucking dings in it, could have damage. You get nothing. So, if you need to scratch the itch, if you need to gamble, take your money, go to the casino, put it all on red, put it all on black, play blackjack, do whatever you need to do, scratch your itch. And if you win, go buy your card. Go buy the exact card that you want. If you want to hit a true Kenny RPA and you only have $1,000, your chances of going and playing roulette and hitting a number on the wheel is like 10 times higher than pulling it out of a box. You have a 0.6% chance of pulling it out of a box. All right? Your odds of hitting that card, of hitting your number at the casino is much fucking better. All right? You have 36 to 1 odds of hitting any single number on a roulette table. But if you put that bet, you can place that bet, that fucking $100 bet, like 30 times, right? To make your money till you get your money back. If you hit it before then, you're gonna make more. So just go do that. Your chances of winning are way fucking better. And smarter than that, I don't advise doing that. But if you have to gamble, if you have to get it out of your system, go do that because your odds are like 25 times better or more by gambling at a casino versus gambling on cards and online. That's stupid. But I don't think anyone needs to do that. Save your money. Save your money. Instead of spending $30, $50, $100, $300, $500 a week, whatever it is, save your money. Don't spend it. Save it. Save it up. When you have enough, go buy the card you want. Just go straight up buy it. Go to a show. Go out on eBay. Hit up DMs. Buy the card that you want. This helps the hobby. Putting money back into the hobby, into other collectors, will filter through the ecosystem. When you buy a card from me, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna buy someone else's card, or I'm gonna trade. I'm gonna trade up. I'm gonna trade down. If I sell a card for $10,000, I guarantee you that 9 times out of 10, that person is going to then buy something else, or what they really want. They sold this card, they're gonna buy that card. This is what grows the fucking ecosystem. It's going back in. When you give money to breakers, that money is going to thin air. It's being taken out of the hobby. It is taken out. It's going into their pockets. They're getting rich. All they're doing with it is buying more wax and then creating the cycle. It's just extrapolating and it's getting worse and worse and worse. It does not help the ecosystem. It does not increase the value of prices. It is not coming back in. They are not. They're taking that money and they are putting it in their bank accounts. They're paying teams. They're making multiple people rich. And the only place where that money goes is back into more wax so they can sell it to you for more. That's it. It makes the system worse. Nothing goes back in. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. All right, wake up. That's it. That's my fucking rant. It's 45 minutes, but it's fucking worth it.